The Paris Plan. Bonjour and bienvenue to The Paris Plan.
This is The Paris Plan.
This is The Paris Plan, and I'm lucky today to be with my friend,
So lucky.
James Gerard, who's living in Paris. He's been living in Paris for a while. How?
Almost 30 years.
30 years.
Together, yeah.
And the reason I wanted you to meet him today is because James is an actor and he plays in a lot of films internationally, but many French films that show different parts and areas of Paris that are nice to know about. And it's good to also see Paris in films when you don't have the chance to come to Paris. So, James, please, can you tell us 5 places that you filmed in that you've enjoyed that we can share with people? But first, where are we now?
We're in the 10th, which is between Gare de l'Est and Gare du Nord. On the Rue Faubourg Saint-Martin, so you can, come and stalk me if you really look hard enough. Not far from Butte Chaumont, which you can see in Friends. You can see the poster in Friends. It's a kind of cool area, a very cool area actually. The real estate fans will be happy to know it's gone up at least a third because it's quite calm and it's well located. Can't go wrong. It's between the Canal Saint-Martin and 2 major train stations. And within the next 100 meters, everybody sort of knows everybody, like a small village. And
I came here by foot, which is very convenient.
But she's lazy. So places to yes.
5 places, that you filmed in, and also let me know what role you played and a little bit about the film.
Okay.
Number 1.
Sex and the City. Last episode, a bit of a cult status. I play an American tourist who's on a boat who waves to Carrie Bradshaw, who's sitting on a place called Square Vert-Galant.
Under Pont Neuf.
Just next to that Pont Neuf, and it's actually where the big Pont Neuf takes off. You can have picnics there, you can make out there. You're in the middle of the city and no one bothering you. It's great views on either side, and I was on a boat and I waved to Carrie Bradshaw to cheer her up because she's been had a horrible day in Paris, and the only person who's nice to her is Muggins here, who is playing an American tourist.
Number 2.
Second film, I'm playing an British lieutenant in the 18th century, yes, for Monsieur N, which is about the last days of Napoleon Bonaparte. We shot in Sainte-Hélène, but it's actually shot in Chateau de Malmaison, which was the former residence of Josephine Bonaparte. That
we mentioned in the agenda not so long ago.
And though it's a tiny scene, the reason why I mention it is it's one of many chateaux you get to film here. I shot at Bois, I shot at Chamfort for Serpent Queen. But this one, at least, it's in the Ile City and you can visit it.
Yes.
And fun fact was...
Défense.
Antoine de Caunes comes up to me, and I knew him from British television where he spoke ladies, and I thought he was putting it on.
And
he comes up to me and says, "Are you playing the English lieutenant?" And I said, "Yes, I am." Yes, I am, thinking he was putting on an accent. And he looked at me, and I thought, 2 reasons: either I'm taking the mic. Oh my God, I hired this guy to play an English lieutenant.
Number 3.
Number 3, I would mention a film I played, an international player for Ireland who was playing for the French team, in which I won an award. Best newcomer at 2007. Why did I mention? Because one, it was fun. It was really good playing. You had everybody who was extras, all the people who had roles. We really recreated a rugby feel, team, I should say. We shot out in Charlety, which I've been informed is not just only for rugby, but many other sports. We shot in the dressing rooms there. We shot on the field. It had Audrey Fleurot also in it, one of the first films. And I would say another film, awesome, which I won an award, playing a superhero who's been made unemployed because he had a dubious meeting, let's say a bit of a Me Too moment. He gets chucked out and he gets the heap hole.
I thought you preferred working solo.
I guess you read the papers?
You need to talk about it, right?
No, I need a beer.
What should I call you? Captain? Or would you prefer your real name?
You mean you know my real identity? Can I keep the rest, or are you gonna make me walk out of here butt naked?
And we shot that out in La Défense, which is a whole area of Paris. They're basically not allowed to have any skyscrapers after the Tour Montparnasse. They put them all out to the west, extreme west, and that's probably the big financial center. And there's a famous arc, it's the Arc de la Défense, which, fun fact, does link up with Arc de Triomphe and the other arc, which I can never remember.
You can climb it, and then there's a straight line between Arc de Triomphe.
Very French, everything quite linear and organised around. Yeah. Because it was made to look like New York.
Yes, when you look at it from the top of the Arab World Institute, you can see it, and you would not think it's Paris if you didn't know about it.
Number 4 would be the Shangri-La restaurant, where I shot a film called Comme, or Le Chef in French.
And we should just say that the Shangri-La, of course, is the beautiful palace hotel in the 8th?
16th.
16th, sorry.
Boulevard d'Iéna.
Beautiful hotel.
Beautiful, and I'm pretty sure it's at least got a Michelin star.
And you can go there just for, if you're not staying there, you can still go there for hot chocolate, for a drink.
They're very welcoming and often very generous as well to those who talk about them. And this film was shot with Jean Reno and Michael Young.
Wow.
I play a pretentious, I don't know why they choose me, British molecular cuisine chap based on Blue Montel, who is in tension with Jean Reno, is playing this traditional French cook, very proud, and chef, I should say, not cook. And the scene is him throwing cabbages at me.
I know chefs, they can throw things like chairs, cabbages.
To get me out of his space, basically.
Arrêtez ça! Monsieur amateur, si vous les autorisez, je vous colle la chambre froide! Bonjour chef. Il est en retard.
It was fun. Jean Reno was very welcoming. The fun fact, I don't know how much I can say, is you'll see this scene of me when they're dressed as geishas. Is that the scene? Yeah. Where was shot at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 1 in the morning, they reversed the cameras onto me, and I had the right to somebody's hand as my reaction shot.
Oh, you were playing against somebody's hand.
Yeah. For interesting political reasons, but the film did very well. And the other day I was at Fnac, which is like this, we basically buy equipment, buying computer stuff and what have you. And the guy in the after sales says, "Do I know you?" And it was, usually if I'm stopped, it's for this film.
And you were also saying that that other scene was at the Communist Party
that was shot
at Colonel Fabian, which is like a beautiful egg coming out of the ground, Metro Colonel Fabian. And there's also exhibitions there that people can go and see occasionally.
Often used for film. There's another film we did called La Marque des Anges that was also shot there. It's often used because the space is amazing. It's sort of futuristic and at the same time very 50s, so it's well worth a visit.
I think the architect did it for free for the course.
Oh really?
Yeah. When I was researching the Architecture Lovers Guide to Paris.
Just love that one in there.
So, number 5.
Number 5, not the funnest film. It was called Sarah's Key.
Great film.
Yeah. S'appelait Sarah, Kristin Scott Thomas. I play a British reporter, photographer, who is kind of in terms of the plot, she gets to explain things to me as if I'm not up on history. And it's all concerned with the events of Val d'Hiver in July 1942, with the Rafle, as they called it, where the French police did that little bit extra than the Gestapo asked them to, and took the children and the families away to at middle of the night and dragged them to a place called Val d'Hiver, which was a velodrome, which is where cycling was racing there at the time, and were to be later transported to Drancy and then on to Auschwitz. They had Chirac in 1996 the president at the time, was the first one to give recognition to what the French implication to part of the Shoah, and there is a commemoration there. So my character and the character of Kristin Scott Thomas is, we're looking at events at the time and we're taking photos there. We can literally see the Eiffel Tower. And I'm asking, where is this? Not much sign of anything there. And she talks about a plaque on the Boulevard Canal, and then also there's a special specific garden. And then she shows where the Val des Verts used to be. Now I thought it was marked Ministère de l'Intérieur. I've been told it's Ministère de l'Intérieur is elsewhere. In any case, it's a big government building where these people had been interned in horrible conditions, no food, no water, no sanitary consideration.
On the 16th and 17th of July 42, they arrested 13,000 Jews. Put them in the Velodrome d'Hiver in inhuman conditions.
No beds, no toilets, barely any water, and not one image exists.
Weird. I mean, they documented everything, the Nazis. That's what they were known for.
Mike, this was not the Germans, it was the French.
In terms of film in Paris, I think it's a good example of that you can be in an area that could look, even the Marais, can look fashionable, as it were, and quite trendy and up to date, but you dig a bit more and you've got history everywhere. Not just the pretty part of history either, quite sordid events.
Yeah, I guess it's important to see not just the Sex and the City fun side of the Paris, but the different layers, the pretty, the less pretty.
Yeah.
But we will link the trailers of the films and where you can watch the films in the comments, and also many of the other films that James has done, which is a good way just to discover the city. If you're in Paris, you can go to the places, but if you're not in Paris, you can discover Paris via James's films.
Not just James's film, there are many other films out there.
But it's nice to see you in such different roles in different places, so people can discover all these places. We'll also link the places that we've got other videos related to, and we'll talk to James again soon. But in the meantime, please share, subscribe, like, comment.
I know my text. All the best. Cheers. Salut.
James.
Pleasure.